Welcome to the sportiest stream, everyone! Welcome to the Blackline Championship Series! The Open Qualifier 1 continues! And boy, we're getting near the end of this thing as well, so we're just about ready to determine who's going to be on our top Legends, Masters, and Premier Division. We're in for a good night of action here, or really a good afternoon of action, actually, since considering how early this match is, but we're in Stage 2 of the Open Qualifier. That means everybody in this part of the bracket has already guaranteed a spot in at least the Premier Division. That is the third highest division for the upcoming Season 17 of the Blackline Championship Series. The way this works is, with the teams all left over, all the teams that have lost early in the lower bracket go to the Premier Division, the first two rounds. The next two rounds in the lower bracket will be for the Masters Division, which used to be our highest division, and of course, the 8 teams that do make it out of the qualifier will be in the new Legends Series, which again will be the new top division here. Our matchup in the upper bracket will be Midwest Mafia, Sloth, Squa, Esports. Both of these teams have already guaranteed a spot at least in the Masters Series. I think both these teams reckon themselves to make at least that far. But both these teams also have a very good chance to make Legends. Whoever wins this is guaranteeing a spot in the Legends Cup. Whoever loses, they're not out of it, but they do have to play in the lower bracket to guarantee their spot or to play in Masters. So that's the situation we're in here. Midwest Mafia won last season in the Masters division. You think if there's any team that deserves a spot in that Legends Cup, it would be them. They've won the last, actually not even the last Masters Series, the last 2 Masters Series they have won. Teams that have, they've been pretty dominant in the last couple of seasons. Again, the last 2 seasons, Season 16, Season 15, winning both of the Masters Series, winning the Masters Series in both seasons for themselves. Sloth, Squa Esports here, consider the kind of pride and glory of Sloth, Squa Esports themselves, have a ton of teams in this tournament. In fact, they also have Sloth Light and Sloth. They already have Sloth Mafia guaranteeing a spot in the Legends Series. Sloth Light are likely to claim a spot in the Legends Series as well. And in the lower bracket, Sloth Elite is battling for a spot in the Legends Series. So they have a ton of teams that are bidding for that Legends Series spot. They're likely to get at least 1 or 2 teams in that one, and wouldn't be surprised if they have even more. Sloth Squa Esports looking to be one of them, but boy, they're going to need quite the upset to get to there. This is a best of 7 here tonight. So this is a best of 7 series for both these teams. You got to win 4 games to go through. So all the matches actually in this final stage of the qualifier are best of 7. Both these teams, a lot on the line, a lot that they're looking to do here to get themselves that spot. An important situation nonetheless here. You gotta perform well if you are both these teams, and especially if you're Sloth, because Midwest Mafia, again, if there's anyone that deserves a spot in the Legends Cup, it's gonna be them. This is a Midwest Mafia team that, I mean, while they have gone through their various stages of change, have actually not changed much. They've not changed much over time, and again, have won the last 2 seasons, so it feels like Midwest Mafia are the heavy favorites in this matchup, and they are, but they still have a lot to prove here against Sloth Squa Esports, so they got a tough match to do here. Coming up for both these teams. It is not an easy matchup to get into that final bracket. A lot resting on this matchup. A lot resting on how these teams can perform here. Because if they don't perform well, they're in lowers and they only get 1 more chance to make it. And if either of these teams don't make it, I'm sure they're not going to be very happy with themselves. A lot for these teams to handle, I'm certain. Coming into this matchup, they've got a lot they'll have to do, and again, with it being a best of 7, win 4 games. It's a long matchup. These teams are going to be in here for a pretty long match overall, so this match, though, to begin. As it already looks like Midwest Mafia have told me what roster they're going to bring in. They've got 5 players on that team. They got a lot of people. It's going to be Vbel, Owen, and Nate, by the looks of it. For Sloth, I would assume it's going to be their starting roster. The thing about Midwest Mafia is they can play with just about anybody on that roster and they'll be just fine. For Midwest Mafia, they have Logan, Poofy, and Vulcan. I would assume that's who's going to show up for them. Mayo is their sub. I would assume Mayo's not going to show up for this match. We'll see though. They could be playing with their sub. I wouldn't be too surprising for me. Again, we'll see how things look here as these teams against the lobby in just a moment. Hopefully. Again, Midwest Mafia who won the last 2 seasons. I think Vibo maybe even, he's a 3-time champion. He's the captain of this team. Again, including those last 2 seasons as part of Midwest Mafia. This team, again, everybody expects this team to make the Legends Cup. They are the best team in the Blackline Championship Series right now by seeding, so I would assume that they are likely to make it, and they're likely to make it quite easily. I mean, their first match in the Winners Round 1 was actually a forfeit win over Lux. Lux Atlas, actually, to be more precise. But so far in this bracket, they're also in Pool A, again, the #1 team there. They only dropped one game there, and that was to the Inverters in their Winners Round 3 matchup, the qualification for Stage 2. Simply put, team shouldn't have too many issues. The Inverters, actually, how did they do? Made it to Stage 2 as well. See how these teams do perform, but again, the Inverters did make it to Stage 2 as well of the bracket. They did have to play in lowers, although their first match was a loss, so they didn't make it very far. But again, they've had an easier time. They, again, had a forfeit for their last week, so they haven't had to do much, actually, for a little while. They've been waiting for the lower bracket to catch up as well after the first stage of the Open Qualifiers. They've been waiting, actually, quite a long time to play. For Sloth Squa Esports, again, they made it through uppers. They were in... which pool were they in? They were in... I think it was Pool D, actually. No, it wasn't. In Pool B, by looks of it. And for them, it wasn't too terrible. 3-1, 4-1. The win over GHE Athens. Matchup. They just did, though, last week have to play their match against Notorious. They went to Game 7 in that. That was a long series for them. Game 7. It is expected it was one of the closer matches in that winners round 1 of Stage 2. So, Sloth Squa Esports are expected to, again, be a pretty solid team. Although they're going to have, again, they're expected to have a pretty tough... Considering that they're playing against Midwest Mafia, that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. But again, we'll wait and see how they perform. Hopefully they'll show up in just a few minutes. They might be having... They're probably in a practice match right now. As soon as they're here, we'll get the match started. Again, this will be a best of 7. Oh, actually, it sounds like Sloth actually going to go to the sub here tonight. They don't seem to be completely available so far, so it looks like they're likely to play with Mayo. Told me they're going to be a little late. They're likely to play with Mayo in this matchup, so that's going to make things a little bit more complicated for them. And again, considering that this is Midwest Mafia we're talking about, this is probably the last team I'm going to play with your sub against. But again, that's what they got to deal with here against Midwest Mafia, who themselves, again, can play with any of those 5 players. And I promise you, they're going to be the favorites, no matter who they play on that roster. Tonight, though, it looks like it's going to be V-Bell, Owen, and Nate. Again, any of these players on that team could play, and they would still probably be favorites in any match they play against just about any team out here. But again, for Midwest Mafia, they're expected to make Legends Cup. They're expected not to drop a series. They're expected to win this match, and they're expected to win it quite well. See how things look for them. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be playing with their sub for this series, so we might be waiting a bit of a while. So we'll wait a little bit for them. There's a good chance I might also go to break and wait even longer. But again, I don't really want to do that because I want you guys to talk about it. I want you guys to chat. Maybe if Sandsbar's here, I would love to say hi to Sandsbar. Good friend of mine in Sandsbar. Well, if he considers me a friend. But I like Sandsbar. He himself actually the org owner for Sloth Squa Esports, as well as actually I believe he's one of the Blackline. Yeah, he's definitely at least one of the admins for Blackline. You know, no, he's not an admin. He is a head mod, basically an admin, but he's a head mod for Blackline Championship Series. So, again, I'm excited though. Season 17 means again we get the Legends series. We got the Masters series. We've got the Masters series back again. There's this Legends series is a whole new division for everyone else to deal with. It's a whole new position. It's a whole new place to be. It's the new top division. And while I don't think it's going to change too much because it's the same size as the Masters division and 8 teams each, it does mean it does mean both these divisions are now smaller, but more teams just happen to be at the top divisions here. Because again, reminder, before this, Masters and Premier were the top divisions. Now it's Legends, Masters, and Premier. Again, Legends and Masters, both 8 teams. They're going to both be pretty small divisions. Overall, in the past, it's been 10-team divisions. That's been kind of the norm. But they're switching now to 8-team divisions as well for their top division. So they're smaller. They're much more. They're smaller. They're much. What is the right word? They're smaller. They're much more exclusive. So and there's definitely more prestige in them. But that does mean more teams do get to be in those top divisions, which is nice, I think, for a lot of players to be in both Masters or Legends. Again, even being in Premier is generally pretty good for a lot of the teams in this tournament. There is a pretty competitive division in its own right, but I believe it's actually growing to 16 teams. I think before it was 10 teams. Actually, it might have been 20. Anyways, it's also a pretty tough division. It actually might be shrinking a little in size. But anyways, I'm excited for this, though. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a great time. For Blackline as well, introducing these new kind of qualifier formats. It's going to be interesting. These are some long brackets for a lot of these teams, but it does mean, essentially, anyone can compete for these spots. So, a lot to play for if you're either of these rosters, as get things started in just a moment. Again, it seems like Sloth is having some issues getting their player in the lobby, so we're going to be waiting a little bit. The forfeit timer is ticking, though, so I'm hoping that they won't be too late where they forfeit this match. I would hate to have that be a possibility here. Yeah, I hope we don't have a forfeit. They said they'd be in 10 minutes. They said they could be 10 minutes late, so if that's the case, then we're getting pretty close to being 10 minutes past match start time. It is a 15-minute timer, by the way, so 15 minutes would be the amount of time that would be that Midwest Mafia could wait for Sloth to show up. But again, I am assuming we're going to be here on time. Sounds like Sloth aren't going to have too many issues getting their sub. Considering again that they're playing with their sub, they haven't practiced with their sub at all. This is one of those situations where they're calling in a sub because one of the other players isn't available. I don't know if they practice with them that much, but this is not a fun position to be in. Again, against Midwest Mafia, you don't really want to play with your sub. I mean, this is probably the last team you want to play against with your sub. Midwest Mafia will tear you apart if you do not have good rotations. That's a scary sight, because this Midwest Mafia team, I see them a good amount. They will tear Sloth apart if Sloth does not have good rotation. Considering again, Sloth has to play with a sub. That's not an easy position to be in, so we'll see again who entirely shows up, but it sounds like Sloth are at least going to have Mayo show up for one of their starters. Going to make things very interesting. Yes, the condiment. Whatever you say, Sandsbar. Whatever you say. But again, we'll wait a little bit. See, but when Sloth does show up. Apologies on the delay, everybody. I was not informed until match time when Sloth would actually be late to this series, so something that we just have to deal with. It happens. Again, hopefully they'll be here. Hopefully this will not turn into a forfeit, as I do fear it could be, considering how late they are. We'll wait a little bit. But, by the way, hello, Sandsbar. I said hello to you earlier. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for, by the way, shout out to Sandsbar, by the way. Thank you for booking me. I'm really happy to see this series, because these are some good teams. And I like this. I haven't really been able to stream much in the qualifiers. Here they go. They're in the lobby. So you know what? They're literally only 11 minutes late. So good job to Sloth. They are playing with their sub, though. It's Logan, Vulcan, and Mayo. That's their sub, by the way, in Mayo. So it's going to be an awkward position. Midwest Mafia have their roster, hopefully. Yeah, they will be joining Bebel, Owen, and Nate. Let's get to the series going. We were waiting a while here. Let's not wait any longer. Let's just get this match underway. Midwest Mafia 2 times in the last 2 seasons. They've won the Masters Series. Now a new top division in the Legends Cup. Oh, sorry, the Legends Series. They don't do cups, they do series in Blackline. The Legends Series is open for them. 1 win, you're there. And for Midwest Mafia, it feels like there is nothing that's going to stop this team, that they should not have any issues making it, but if that's the case, Sloth, Squa Esports are what could be their last major battle to get to that spot. And in a new qualifier type system, they aren't guaranteed anything in this matchup. It's all about being able to perform as V-Bell. Actually on a Dominus for this game, so interesting card choice. V-Bell, rarely do we see him on a Dominus. Because I think the last time we've seen him, he's been on Fennec, maybe Octane, but I believe he's been on the Fennec. Most times, almost any time he's on this, in these matches. So a bit of a card change here will definitely be interesting to watch him again for Sloth. Playing with a substitute in this matchup, and while I don't doubt that Mayo's a strong player, playing with a substitute's just not an ideal situation against a team as good as Midwest Mafia. But again, for Sloth, Squa Esports could be the second team to guarantee their spot in the Legends series. That would be behind Sloth Mafia, another top 2 team, actually a team that I believe has gotten second place in the Masters series in a previous season. So very, very good team already in there. And Midwest Mafia looking to not be too far behind, as they'll put this one in. It's V-Bell who will take goal 1 as an opening in the midfield. Everybody from Sloth kind of push out the way, and they just couldn't get the double tap off the sidewall. Goal 1 for the favorites. Number 1 seed in this bracket, who again have so far only dropped 1 game so far in the tournament. Again, that being in stage 1, the last round of the winners bracket. I believe it was winners round 3. Simply put, for Midwest Mafia, again, everybody expects them to not have too much difficulty making it. But again, Sloth are a good team as well. They are going to be a challenge for Midwest Mafia to handle, as Logan looking for Vulcan will be midfield as Mayo next to it. V-Bell keeps this one in the air. Now, will it be Owen who doinks this off the back wall? Logan missed it! It's a free second goal! And Midwest Mafia have another. Well, it will be a big opening here as that doink. I did not think that would fool Sloth Squa Esports. It was pretty obvious that Owen was just doing it to test them. But I guess it does work. Logan did not handle it very well. And Midwest Mafia 2-0 right now as V-Bell can't get this one out. The first of the match for Sloth Squa, as it will be from Mayo, the substitute. As V-Bell had no boost and just not an easy position to work with. Poor kickoff for Midwest Mafia, and Sloth, with their first goal, now only one away from tying things here. Midwest Mafia, I mean, they're not going to slow down at all. Owen shot saved by Lowen. I'll be playing the midfield for Nate. Open room. Owen in support. Here he goes. Towards the net will be kept out by Vulcan. V-Bell. Midfield should be a play for Nate. Vulcan's out of position! And Midwest Mafia back to a 2-goal lead. Again off the sidewall, man. Sloth had a couple issues when they're playing out the sidewall, just getting a bit too relaxed and not challenging all that quickly. So far, we've had 2 goals this game for Midwest Mafia. Proof of a plays on the sidewall that Sloth just kind of left open. Midwest Mafia is not complaining. Really trying to set the tempo early here, and they're doing a great job at that. 4-1 now, as V-Bell takes another goal. And again, he might be in the Dominus, which is a different card for V-Bell than normal, but yes, still leading this roster, as he seems to do almost every single match that he plays for this team. Midwest Mafia now, looking for 5. Owen, he can score from that distance. Will be wide though as Mayo clears it away. V-Bell bumped out. Logan, Mayo, Owen with Nate upfield. Owen's gonna go himself though, looking for the second touch. This one is just bounced in front. Vulcan will clear, but it doesn't get around V-Bell. Now he's got the bump. Midwest Mafia can attack this play. Vulcan, oh, that's a great read for Owen. Flip reset, flick this one high. Nate goes, Nate scores, and it's another for Midwest Mafia. This game is quickly turning one-sided. No matter how desperate Sloth might be playing, when you're with a sub, when you're against Midwest Mafia, those are 2 terrible positions to be in at this point. And unfortunately, with both of them kind of colliding, they don't really, again, coming into the series, it felt like they didn't stand too much of a chance. Now, this is game 1, but this is a pretty bad start for Sloth Squa Esports. Fortunate thing is this is uppers, so they aren't playing on their last life. As they should be able to get a goal here. Oh, that's a big miss for Vulcan. A wide open net for goal 2, and Midwest Mafia, I mean, that one was given. They rarely ever seem to have that rotation fall apart, but that was one such opening, and one that was not exactly taken as Logan to save. He'll be up the sidewall as here goes Owen. Looking for the flip reset. On the block, V-Bell. Logan to the sidewall. Vulcan to the back. Will be Midwest Mafia who will look for the play. It's V-Bell. Flicked it high. It is Mayo to save. Here goes Nate. Up the ceiling. Owen to go, but kept out of the way by Vulcan. And Midwest Mafia will leave the play away. Still up by 5-1. They're in no pressure. They're in no rush. And at this point, they've basically secured game 1. And if you don't believe it, this will do it. V-Bell with a hat trick. It's 6-1 now. And Midwest Mafia just do not look like they'll be beat here. What a dominant start to the series. Again, considering that Midwest Mafia only one match series win away from a spot in the Legends series, you know they want that spot. They're the team that everybody expects to be there, considering that they've won the last 2 seasons in the Masters series, the previous highest division. They're expected to be there. And really, there should be no question that they should be able to make it. Though again, Sloth trying to create quite the upset for themselves here, as will be a second goal this game, just a consolation goal late, and give themselves some confidence. And another from Mayo too, which I'm impressed that Mayo has really been able to perform so well, considering again that they're the sub position. Again, having to play against such a good team. But credit to Mayo for playing a pretty solid performance and being brought in so late to this matchup. Fortunately, though, this might be the only positive for Sloth Squa Esports this game. It has been rough for them here. 6-2. Midwest Mafia playing their way, and it's working against the Sloth side that knows they're the underdogs. Midwest Mafia, every game, one step closer to the Legends series, to a division that they're, again, expected to make. Well, we'll get to see how they perform here as... What a strong start in game 1. I don't expect every game to be one-sided, to be fair. But considering that Sloth has outshot their opponents 15-5, they've tripled the shots that Sloth had. This is not a good start for Sloth. This does not bode well for their future in this series. Again, the benefit is both these teams are in uppers. If you lose, you still have a chance to make Legends through the lower bracket. And I mean, as long as you make it, you make it. It won't really matter too much which way you make it. But I know that these teams want to perform, want to prove themselves. This is where you gotta do it. Midwest Mafia, well, they're not starting slow, that's for certain. In game 2, 3 seconds in, and already a goal for Nate's is just right over Mayo. A perfect cheat on the kickoff for Midwest Mafia. And when your kickoffs work that well, you are never missing. And a very simple play for me. I mean, that's one that he could probably score with his eyes closed. That's how easy it was for him. Again, for Midwest Mafia, not really a team that ever does anything flashy. They're just solid. They got good rotations. They've got really solid players. They're high ranked. They've got good rotations. Again, they themselves are a team with some really good chemistry. But also really good leadership. That's something that I don't mention much about this Midwest Mafia team. I usually mention their really strong chemistry. Because of the fact that it allows this team to win over most other opponents, and why they've been so good in the last 2 seasons and have won the Masters Division in the last 2 seasons. But you got to talk about leadership for this team. They've got V-Bell, and he's again there for almost every single match they play. I don't know if I can think of a better of a leader than V-Bell. I mean, he's won 3 tournaments in Blackline. There is nobody really out there that maybe has leadership that V-Bell has as Midwest Mafia team. But he's the kind of guy you want there, as well. He's the kind of guy you won't want there, though, as he makes the mistake that gives this game to be even, as he just doesn't get the touch off the back wall and calls off Owen. I was hyping up V-Bell, and he makes that error. But again, he's a great leader for Midwest Mafia. It's something that people don't notice as much, maybe, but he's a solid leader for this team, and again, the perfect player you want for a roster like Midwest Mafia, who themselves, again, if you're gonna win, Oftentimes it takes leadership, and again, Vibo does that. So we saw it in Game 1 as well of this series. Obviously, he'll need to keep that going for the rest of this matchup. Sloth are still looking to create quite the upset. Midwest Mafia, no, they can't exactly take any team easy at this point. Because there's a very good chance that they'll likely see Sloth in that Legends Cup, or Legends Series. Can't take them easily. Not a walk in the park. This is, the Legends Series qualifier. Boy, what a battle it will be here as Vibo will clear it away. Sidewall, Mayo, challenged by Vibo. Logan. This one cleared across is Vibo up next. Midwest Mafia. Jumping on the play will be Owen. Little chain dash to catch up to the ball there, but nothing much as the Vibo's got low boost. Will still win the play against Mayo. Owen with nothing. Redirect up high. This one's kept out initially by Logan. Nate, I think it was looking for V-Bell there, but it only goes as far as Vulcan with support. Sloth on offense as Mayo with the chance. Had both goals from last game. As this one tied even as we're at the halfway point. Nate will jump for the block. And Owen to clear. Nate dunks Vulcan. V-Bell stays on it. Ooh, not a good touch though. Owen's a bit out of position. It's not a great touch in front. Nate keeps it aloft. And V-Bell with some calmness. Oh, but he gave it away. Logan's got us one. And man, this game has not been good for the captain of Midwest Mafia. Usually such a consistent player, but that is 2 goals for Sloth that have been created from V-Bell. Again, for being such a consistent player for Midwest Mafia, that is shocking for me to see. A player like V-Bell make those kind of errors, but Sloth is taking them. Credit to them, they've taken advantage of those errors quite quickly too. It's not always easy to catch Midwest Mafia on their mistakes. As an infield play will be Vulcan trying to find Logan. Midfield pass. Nate bumped out the way, but V-Bell doesn't get a great touch on this one. Will still be able to win it out as here goes Nate. Midwest Mafia only 1 goal so far this game. Their offense itself has had probably a worse performance than their defense has. As V-Bell, back wall. Owen, the dunk! The tie! And Midwest Mafia are right back in it. And Owen just jumping fourth. He was actually second to the challenge, but that is a blessing in disguise. Takes down Mayo in that challenge, and his game is even at 2. Considering Sloth playing much better than they did last game, and with it being much closer than last game, you really feel like this is their chance to really win, to put the pressure on Midwest Mafia. A loss here would be devastating, considering all that Sloth have had to do so far. As Nate, flip reset, the bump, sets up Owen. Off the sidewall, this one's rolling in front. V-Bell trying to bump out Vulcan. Actually gets some piece of the car there, but it won't get far enough. Nate can't shoot. Sloth will hold on to this one, but not very well. V-Bell leaves it. Nate the challenge next. Owen was hoping for the pass, but it will go across the field. V-Bell holding the action will stay on this one as here goes Owen. West Mafia winning on the boost, but not the possession. Just waiting for that golden opportunity late in this game, inside the final minutes. Owen to Nate. Vulcan on the goal line. Here goes V-Bell now. Got around Mayo. We clear it, but caught up by Logan. Nate, that's in front of the Midwest Mafia nets, but but V-Bell gets there. Owen now down the field. Nate bumps out Mayo. Owen looking for V-Bell. V-Bell, still V-Bell. 1-on-1, saved by Vulcan. A big block late in this game. May have just saved his team. Here goes Nate, left mid. Vulcan to clear it back. Owen on almost nothing, has to win the challenge, and he will. Tied at 2 goals each. Midwest Mafia looking for one last big chance. Logan won't give it to them. And it is overtime. Where we go in Game 2. Yeah, Midwest Mafia have only dropped 1 game this entire bracket, and again, that was back in Stage 1. A huge accomplishment to me is just to take the game off this team. But they're not making it easy. The defense holds on for now as Owen clears. So far this game, the 2 goals for Sloth have been off of mistakes from V-Bell. I think if anyone wants this game to be over, it would be V-Bell. This has not been his best performance. Considering how well he played in Game 1, this is a complete 180. But he's looking to lead his team to victory. They're only 1 goal away from ending that nightmare. Off the back wall, V-Bell, double, trying to drop this one in, but Vulcan there. Double commit for Midwest Mafia. Nate still has it. Logan off the corner, and Midwest Mafia really not getting close to that net right now. It feels like Sloth actually have the advantage at times on their offense with how close they're playing the Midwest Mafia. But they'll need to find success, and their net's open. Vulcan will get back. Now infield. Owen, past 1. Logan, the last back. Gets past that 2. Nate to end it. And Midwest Mafia go 2-0 in the match. Owen with the outplay past 2. And it's Nate who will tuck it to the front post. A 2-0 series lead for Midwest Mafia. That felt like the game Sloth needed to win. But Sloth Squa Esports not doing so. Now down by even more in this match. And boy, it was close. In fact, they were winning on shots. It was 12-9 in favor of Sloth by the end of this game. They were winning on shots. Their offense was better. But it won't matter. Because it's Midwest Mafia who win it. And I feel like for Sloth, at least, their offense felt better at times. It felt like they felt like the better team. They absolutely can beat Midwest Mafia. They gotta find ways to get that offense going, though. Both those goals from last game from mistakes, they had 12 shots. They're going to need better shots if they're going to beat this Midwest Mafia team. But they are proving they can do it. But, well, they've got to somehow find a way to elevate even more from what they did last game. Considering, again, I don't know how many mistakes Vivo is going to make this series. He's not going to make that many of them to begin with. Off cannot rely on that being a consistent factor in this match. Now, Midwest Mafia will look for the first goal of Game 3, and they will almost get it too. Mayo gets that one up the crossbar. Now he'll challenge again. Nate. He'll leave this one for Owen. Midfield, V-Bell takes the challenge against Logan. 3-on-1, now a 1-on-1. Vulcan, no, he's taken on the field. Big demo from Owen. Midwest Mafia preventing the 1v1 from being any more dangerous. In that position, you so often see players go for the air dribble bump on offense. And rarely does that play not work when timed correctly. Something that these players, again, are definitely going to be, are definitely going to notice. And Midwest Mafia not letting that have any chance of being formed. As V-Bell gets past them, open backfield. Everybody from Sloth pushed up on that. Now a pinch mid. A lot of demos ringing through. Midwest Mafia will not be there as V-Bell was taken up the field. Now in the midfield, Logan won't get to it. V-Bell. Owen, around the corner. Mayo clears it back. Here goes Nate to Owen. Back to Nate. And this one is on and in. And Midwest Mafia a little clunky here, but hey, you know what? There's always credits for the inspiration and for being able to kind of do it on the spot. Maybe it wasn't what they were planning. I think they were just planning for one pass to go in, but they'll get it done. Nate. The Owen and Midwest Mafia getting that last goal. A little bit of improv is kind of what I meant to say there, but a little bit of improv, a little bit of creativity. And hey, their pressure's proving well here as they'll take the first goal in Game 3. Really put the pressure on Sloth now. Just away, Logan. The Mayo. Towards the net. Nate will easily get it out. Now he's looking to stay on the play as to the back corner will be Vulcan. Nate, oh, he's got a touch on that, but not the touch he was looking for. As Mayo challenged. V-Bell, that is wide open. And V-Bell will say thank you very much. He saw that net was completely open, and well, the reason why Vulcan and Logan both went for the same boost. Neither of them were covering the nets. That challenge of Mayo wasn't very good either, so they're all in the same spot. They're all cramped together. That means there's not enough, there's a lot of room behind them. And Vibel, who recognizes that, just throws it on net. Will catch Sloth napping on the midfield line. A little bit of security for Midwest Mafia. And you know what? A little bit more security. Oh, that's off the goal line. That's off the bar, and could have been a 3-goal lead, and I think that might have very likely ended this game. Considering the way these teams are playing, it's still going to be a 3-goal lead with this goal from Owen. And now even more security for Midwest Mafia, and considering how close last game was, Sloth, who could not get the first goal this game, are now really regretting not having won Game 2. Yeah, that felt like the game for them to, a glimmer of hope in this series, put the pressure on Midwest Mafia. Because they haven't done that, Midwest Mafia just do not look concerned. To be frank, why should they? They're looking like the far better team in this game. They look like the far better team in Game 1. In Game 2, again, I said it, Sloth looked like they had the better offense, but clearly their offense couldn't strike, and Midwest Mafia was still very much competing with them. It was not a very clear team that was playing better in Game 2. It's Mafia looking to be pretty happy with how they're playing, as off the sidewall will be Owen to clear, looking for a second touch. Maybe a flip reset as well to the back wall. Oh, he's still found his way in front, and it's going to be Nate for a 4th goal this game for Midwest Mafia. As Owen, I can't believe he somehow got that double tap in front. That is an incredible pass. Midwest Mafia just, again, do not look concerned at all. As, I mean, this game's going to be nearing its end pretty soon. It feels very similar to Game 1. Except Sloth haven't even scored this game. It's been a few less goals, but still very similar. In that, well, Midwest Mafia are dominating. As Nate puts in Midwest Mafia's 5th of the game. He's got a hat-trick here. And simply put, for Sloth, it's, again, so much like Game 1. They just could not get their wheels greased. Maybe the loss in Game 2 has hurt them mentally. It wouldn't surprise me, considering how close it was, considering they really did put a lot into that game, knowing they had a chance to win it. Maybe they've just exhausted all their energy. Of course, Mafia will do that to you, as... Well, that will be a goal for Vulcan. We're inside the final minute of Game 3. And for Midwest Mafia, they're, again... I think they're starting to kind of slow things down a little bit. As Sloth do get a goal here. It's not over just yet, though. Midwest Mafia can't take them too lightly. Still, again, 53 seconds left in this game. Sloth, who, again, have just not been able to win yet. Have had some struggles on offense all series. But again, it's trying to find some goals for themselves as Owen challenging Logan. That net's a bit open, but Vibo will get back to it in time. Owen's gonna flick it away. Vulcan will hold on to it, but Midwest Mafia again just playing the play as here goes Mayo. Owen to clear. This could be 6-1, but it will be wide of the net. And Logan will pinch it out. Vibel right back in the offense. Nate with Owen. And Vibel now. Midwest Mafia staying upfield. As a play off the back wall. Logan to clear. Owen to challenge. Here goes Vibel. Looking for Owen, but Midwest Mafia will leave the play. This game is over. And Midwest Mafia now have quadruple match points. Only needing one more win to be in the Legends Series. For the team that won the last 2 seasons of the Masters Series, the previous top division, it doesn't surprise me too much that they're in this position. But it's not over just yet. We have seen best of 7 reverse sweeps. Although never in the Blackline, and we've actually even seen it in the Blackline. I will correct myself, we have seen it in the Blackline Championship Series before. Best of 7 reverse sweeps. It's been a while since we've had one happen. Rare, to be frank, so that doesn't surprise me too much. Last time we had one happen was February 3rd of last year. Last time it's happened in the Blackline Championship Series. was September 22nd of 2023. So like almost 2 years from now. As Sloth are making a sub change here. Played with Mayo for the first 3 games. Clearly that hasn't worked for them. And it sounds like their usual starting third is back. That would be Poofy, who wasn't here for the first 3 games. Now looking to join in for game 4. So Sloth making that roster change. Going to game 4. Hoping this will turn things around. We'll see if that's the case. As Poofy's name is a smiley face. I forgot. His name's a smiley face, by the way. If you're wondering. So Poofy's in. So for Sloth, now needs to win 4 games in a row. They've now got their actual starting rosters, so they're going to be, in theory, scarier than they were in the last 3 games. Again, for Midwest Mafia, only needing 1 win. They're in prime position to head right into the Legends Cup. Or, sorry, the Legend... I keep calling it Cups. They're Series. The Legends Series on a 4-0 sweep as well. What a strong performance as Owen will... Oh, Nate should have scored that. That was an open net for him. And Midwest Mafia with the first major chance, and one that probably should have gone in. Sloth will thank their lucky stars that this is not a 1-0 scoreline already for Midwest Mafia, considering that they haven't done well when Midwest Mafia scores first. That's a good... That is a very thankful sign for them. Now here's their chance. Vulcan gets under Owen. V-Bell to clear. Nate already up in the air. Gets a high touch. Will be Logan. Owen to the corner. Poofy on the block. And Sloth again playing with their normal 3 players. Should be able to connect a lot better on what they were trying to do, especially on offense. Where they really had struggles in the last couple games. This is now in front of the net. Nate will clear it. V-Bell doesn't have this. And Owen's out of position. Top left for Logan. Sloth aren't out of this series just yet. They know they aren't. And that's a big goal first goal for Logan. Midwest Mafia missed their chance earlier. They never got another. And Sloth Squa Esports catching them on an overcommit. Great job at making that chance count. As Owen looking for another play in front of the net. But V-Bell, who was not in the right position, now he's out of position. It's another for Sloth and Midwest Mafia. Having some rotational issues here. It's another play where they've just completely left the backfield open. Biggest lead so far this series for Sloth Squa Esports. They'll look to hold it for the rest of this game as Vulcan might even get a third here. It is going to be saved. Owen will stop them from getting a 3-goal advantage. Midwest Mafia. This is an issue on rotations right now for this team. Just playing in a way where there's a lot of aggression, but not a lot of intelligence in the way they're playing up on offense. It didn't hurt them before because Sloth themselves couldn't break out, but now the Sloth is. These overcommits from Midwest Mafia are going to need to stop as a goal for V-Bell. Again, their offense is going to be consistent. The major thing this game is going to be if Midwest Mafia can recognize that they can't be nearly as aggressive as they were before. You have to play a little bit more intelligent now with the way they're playing the midfield. Sloth have caught them before, but 1 goal back for Midwest Mafia. This game is still far from over. As Poofy looking to get things started. Taken away by V-Bell. Nate. Logan to clear. Owen. Already back. Oh, he's missed it! Owen missed it! I mean, he was already on the back foot to begin with. As he actually pushed past the midfield line there, but that's one that I would have expected Owen to be able to get to in time. But again, maybe another overcommit here for Midwest Mafia. That's a 3rd straight goal from that kind of position. It's starting to become a bit obvious here that Midwest Mafia haven't exactly learned from their past mistakes, as this is going to be saved by Owen. Nate to clear. Past Vulcan. Not past Logan, though. Midwest Mafia, again, cannot give up any more open nets in the backfield. As Vulcan to clear. In goes Nate. Should be 2, and will be. Vulcan, who was already put under pressure by V-Bell, who's just waiting in front of the net for any chance to score. He forces Vulcan to go early. Vulcan, not making the touches he wants, can't put enough power on it. And in comes Nate to clean things up. Only a 1 goal difference here. Despite all the errors that Midwest Mafia have made on their rotations, it is only a 1 goal difference. It's just the kind of quality that this team has on their offense and how good they are at staying competitive in these games. Sloth, though, looking to, once again, extend their advantage. I would usually say that they can't rely on the same mistake happening again, but considering it's happened already 3 times, that might be what they're waiting for. As V-Bell, Vulcan to clear, up goes Logan, that's on target, Owen will be there, still in front of the net, as it's Poofy! And V-Bell, who jumped early for that, not in the right position to save it. And actually for V-Bell, the thing here is, he shouldn't be jumping that early. He's got time. If he waits, he gets that save easily. He's so worried about a low shot. That's what he's preparing for. That he jumps early and just isn't ready for what actually gets thrown on net. Something like that can always be a risk, and it's one that can always fail you sometimes. Fortunately for V-Bell, his pre-jump was the wrong decision. And at the wrong time, as off now. Again up by 2 as Vulcan. Owen to keep it away. Now goes Nate. Minutes to go in this game, and Sloth, who lead by 2. Really, again, trying to do whatever they can to keep Midwest Mafia back for as long as they can. We'll go around the corner. Vulcan sends this one away. Will be a bouncer for Nate to clear, and Poofy can't get there in time. But there's been a lot of long shots this game. These teams have not handled those rotations well. This is an absolute clanger from Nate. One that Poofy is, again, pushed up high for. He's expecting the challenge. He's not expecting that shot. Again, Midwest Mafia within 1 now in this game. But so little time to go. They may only get a few chances, if any, this game, to tie this one and go to what would be a second overtime. As Nate to Owen. Back to Nate. To V-Bell! It's in! Nate never even touched this one. But it's a double commit. Poofy and Vulcan. I didn't even realize Vulcan jumped on that. I was wondering why it was so open there for V-Bell, because he was not exactly looking to challenge that quickly. And an even scoreline, 4 goals each. Midwest Mafia feels like only 1 goal away now from guaranteeing their spot, but a big mistake on the back wall! Vulcan's got this one! And the lead goes right back to Sloth Squa Esports. V-Bell didn't read it. And with 29 seconds left, can Midwest Mafia score a 5th? Well, they won't have a lot of time to do it to begin with. They're already on defense. And they're not exactly being given a lot of room here by Sloth Squa Esports. V-Bell, who missed his clear. Vulcan, not on. Nate will go across the goal. V-Bell, that is actually a pass to Logan. And Sloth just gonna use as much time as they have. Infield for Poofy. Save away by Nate. Maybe one last chance. Clears it away. It's V-Bell to the back wall. Vulcan will read it. But it's still in front. It will hit the floor. Sloth Squa Esports will take game 4. The match is not over just yet. But again, a worrying sign still for Sloth. They may have won this game. Considering how many of those goals are from Midwest Mafia overcommits, Midwest Mafia doesn't give them that same kind of room as they did before. What does Sloth Squa Esports do on offense? I felt like this game was really one where both teams were just pressuring each other to make those mistakes on rotation. I think if you're Midwest Mafia, I think the question you ask yourself is, kind of, what kind of game do you need to play now against this new version of Sloth Squa Esports? I think it's one where they have to sit, where they have to have their players, their third player back, sit a lot further back. because you can't allow Sloth Squa Esports to clear the ball and score that way. But we'll see what kind of Midwest Mafia we see here. There's also a very good chance they don't change anything going into this game. Maybe expecting the last game to be a fluke. Again, they've already dropped one game this whole entire bracket, but only one. This is only the second game they've ever dropped this entire bracket. Off in a... They haven't done something that very few teams have been able to do. Midwest Mafia, though, again, can still make their spot in the Legends series. Still in a very, very positive position as V-Bell on the dribble. There's an open backfield, and V-Bell will take it. That was left to be a bit too easy for him, as I don't even think V-Bell could understand how this net was so open, but he won't be one to complain. You have an open net, you take it. No questions asked. But that's only one goal. West Mafia, I'm sure they know, will need a couple to beat Sloth, considering that they are now finding their offense this matchup. Let's clear away. Nate, back pass to Owen. Vulcan. It'll be V-Bell to clear. Poofy. Lobs this one high. Poofy on the ball. Nate can't read to it. It will be Owen. Still is Owen, and now it's in the midfield. Nate's waiting. He doesn't want to get bumped, and with him being the only one back, that was not an unlikely possibility, considering the way that Sloth have wanted to play this matchup. As Owen's going to have a chance here. That almost went in. Just didn't have the boost to corral that to the back of the net. Midwest Mafia were that close to a 2-goal lead. They scored first again. Oh my, that's been saved. Oh dear. Logan had it set perfectly to him there. And Poofy, who made that pass to begin with, just blocking his own teammate's effort. That is truly unfortunate for Sloth, because they did everything right on that play. They are doing everything right now and forcing Midwest Mafia out of position, taking their boost, making them panic, and making them lose that rotation. As a mistake there, V-Bell's gonna save. Sloth feels like they're in the driver's seat at this point, in front of the net. V-Bell never even went. He thought Owen had the ball there. And again, Midwest Mafia looking very nervous. They've been on defense for the last maybe minute of this game, and they have still not been able to get out, as V-Bell will finally clear it away. Some room for Midwest Mafia. Some breathing space. But it won't be for long. Already upfield again is Sloth. Owen. Another big touch away. Still Owen. The challenge on Logan. Cleared back. V-Bell and Nate both jumping in. A bit of room now for Logan, but Nate will clear it out. Poofy, already waiting, will catch this one. With open room in front, that's not the touch he was looking for. Midwest Mafia actually now have their chance to maybe get that second goal here. Vulcan's whiffed. Everybody on Sloth is kind of upfield here. Midwest Mafia slowly but surely trying to break through. Not only would keeping Sloth Esports back, again, give them their chance to score, but also, you know, just waste time. And that's, at this point, quite important with so little that clock left. Only 100 seconds now left in this game. Midwest Mafia only leading by one. Know that that clock will be their friend as long as they play it well. V-Bell to clear. Nate, the redirect! Logan's got to that one! As Owen goes for a follow. Saved by Vulcan. Logan will clear. No boost, though. Up the corner will be caught out in the way. Owen now. Nobody back. It's Owen to V-Bell. 2-0 for Midwest Mafia. As the demos opening up the field. And Midwest Mafia, recognizing that Sloth are starting to push up very high for chances now, knowing that Sloth have to push up high, are just letting them overcommit. Now with a 2-goal deficit, Sloth will need that answer quickly. They're going to need a goal soon, because, I mean, they cannot wait too long. This is not a lot of time. Considering the way that Midwest Mafia are playing, it's a slow progression to score against them. You need that goal. That might be it, but it's hit the crossbar. Another chance for Sloth that's gone just a bit wrong for them. 2 chances really like that in this game. It feels like they Again, they've done everything right, just couldn't have the fortune favor them. That's the position they're in now. They've got to make up time. V-Bell to the corner. Boofy across to Logan. Can't score that one. Midwest Mafia now will clear it away as Nate finds Owen. Owen, ooh, he didn't get the shot there. Will actually play to the corner. Midwest Mafia waiting for the clock. Less than 20 seconds now. As it's Boofy to the back wall. Vulcan, this one in front. Nate will clear straight back to Logan. Off the crossbar. Logan, the jump. It is still kept out. And Sloth Squa Esports needed that goal. Now they won't have enough time. Midwest Mafia, the #1 overall team, who won in the last 2 seasons, will now be in the Legends Series in Season 17. To the upper bracket they go. No one can stop them. And I don't think anyone will be surprised. 4-1 in their last match to guarantee their spot in the Legends Series. Fortunately for Sloth, they actually had some pretty solid performances. I think their sub early really did hurt them in this one. If they played with their starting roster like they did in games 4 and 5, that could have been so useful for them. Again, that will not be the case here. Again, unfortunately, that's the kind of position that they will be in, so a strong performance here for Midwest Mafia, although again, they're expecting themselves to play pretty consistently. Again, being the team that they are, I don't think they were ever really too... again, I think they knew that even though these matches would be tough, that they would be the overall best team to perform in them. So again, 4-1, the scoreline. They're into the Legends Series, but for Sloth Squa Esports fans, it's not... their run's not over. They have the lower bracket, but they'll have to win in lowers to guarantee their spot. I'd love to see that matchup. As we're going to get an interview here at Midwest Mafia. We get things going. So again, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to all of this. Again, for Midwest Mafia, they're in the Legends Series. Again, only dropping two games this entire bracket. Seriously, a dominant team overall. And again, I mean, they're pretty happy, as they should be. They played as they needed to. Well, they had their slight maybe issues at times. Again, no matter who they play on this roster, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be favored. Again, they're a team that everybody else wants to beat. Solid performance here as we're going to join Nate now for a quick little interview. Welcome in, Nate. Midwest Mafia, who won the last 2 seasons in the Masters Series, now they're into their spot in the all-new Legends Series, a 4-1 over Sloth Squa Esports. For you guys, I'm sure you guys aren't, too surprised about this result, but how are you feeling? You're in the Legends Series. It's, this is the first time you guys, I think, have had to play a qualifier to make it to this point in the Blackline Championship Series, but as expected, you guys get it done. I'm sure you're feeling pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't supposed to play today, but our third was a little MIA. Yeah, couldn't get a hold of him, and so it's kind of a last-minute decision for me to hop in. And I'm coming off a 2-week break. I was out of town for a while, so I'm getting back into it.
I mean, the thing I mentioned during the series, that's one of the things that Midwest Mafia is so good, is that this team, you can mix and match whoever you want, and you're going to be just fine. And obviously that was done today here. As you said, you played, and you weren't supposed to. And, being on a team like this where they can kind of mix and match like this, it's got to feel kind of nice, because so often we see teams with designated subs. Sloth have a designated sub that they played with today. But you guys don't really seem to have a designated sub. It seems like it's just a group of 5 people, and kind of whoever's feeling good kind of plays. Talk to me kind of what it's like to have this roster, to kind of know that whoever you're playing with, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're all good friends, and we have a lot of chemistry. We all play together all the time, so it doesn't really matter who's playing. We all kind of have pretty good chemistry together, so
Of
it's
course.
easy to mix and match.
Yeah, and of course, and obviously taking on Sloth Squa Esports, they had their own sub. But they brought some challenges in those last couple of games. Games 4 and 5 really were close, and I think honestly, Sloth were kind of turning the tide in their favor. Talk to me about Game 5. That first goal, that was the difference maker, I think, in that series. From this being a very long series, instead being a series that you guys won in 5 games. That first goal really did make the difference in Game 5, and it felt like it made the difference in all these games for you guys to get that first goal as well overall. Really, that may had a difference. Had a change on how you guys played that first goal in Game 5. Talk to me about the relief that you guys felt from that goal, because it felt like right after that goal was scored, even though you guys had your troubles in that game, and Sloth had some very close chances. It felt like that goal was kind of the goal to relax you guys. Talk to me about kind of scoring first, the kind of calmness it brings to you guys, because every game you won, your guys scored first, and it definitely showed.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when they brought their third in, it was a little difficult to adjust to like a different play style, like mid series. But yeah, I mean, scoring first definitely just gives you the confidence. You're not fighting to come back. You kind of get to control the pace of the game a little more whenever you're in the lead. So it definitely helps to score first and get the confidence from it.
Of course, and I mean, you also mentioned today about how a couple players were not here. Their third wasn't there for the first couple of games. Your third wasn't here as well. This is a very early game for most people. This is an early game for you guys, I know, as well. And if I know anything about Rocket League players, I don't know what it is, but no Rocket League player ever seems to be a morning person as well. So playing this early, I'm sure a good amount of people were tired. I can tell you, I'm tired. I didn't sleep amazingly. Playing this early, what's the difference? What's the adjustment you have to make to playing this early rather than playing at, the usual times you guys play, which would be like 6, 7, 8 hours later from now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely playing earlier. Whenever you play like late at night, play throughout the day and you're a little more comfortable. Just you've been playing, you're more warm, and I wasn't even on the game until like 20 minutes before the series, because it's like I said, I wasn't supposed to play, and it was kind of last minute, so it definitely makes a difference to be able to warm up and expect when you're gonna play, and especially if it's later, then you have the whole day to kind of prepare for it and warm up and stuff. So yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
Of course, here, and hey, 401, you guys are into the Legends series. I kept calling it the Legends Cup. It's the Legends series. Yeah, I'm mixing up my tournaments. I'm mixing up my tournament with Blackline. I don't know how I did that, because my tournament uses cups. Blackline uses series, but you're in the Legends series, the new top division. So you guys get to will once again be at the forefront of Blackline for what will be a third season in a row, maybe like fifth season, sixth season in a row for V-Belt. I don't know how this is like the sixth season in a row where he's on a team that is literally at the top of the division. He was on Know the Flight, right? Not like before he was on Midwest Mafia.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was on Know the Flight.
Sure.
That's where he got his first win. He's been on the forefront for like 6 straight seasons. I don't know. As I mentioned before, Vebel is insanely consistent in Blackline. I don't know how he does it, but he somehow finds a way. But again, you guys are once again going to be at the forefront of the Blackline Championship Series in the Legends Cup. So again, congrats on that. So I'm sure you're coming into this match knowing that you guys are going to likely have a good chance of making it. Likely knowing that you're going to have the run to make it, and you guys did it. You got the job done. Of course, congrats on your win before you go, and before you guys kind of celebrate making the Legends, or rather maybe go back to sleep. I don't know what you guys at this time. Do you have any shoutouts? Anything you want to say? Anybody out there you want to thank?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, V-Bell, he's very, very consistent. And then Owen's crazy at the game, always has been. So it's definitely fun to play with them.
Owen, who's
So, yeah.
Owen? All I saw was Owas.
Oh yeah, Owas. My bad. Yeah.
No, but I get it, of
definitely
course.
Owas.
Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for joining, Nate, and congrats on your win. 4-1 here for Midwest Mafia, only dropping 2 games this entire qualifier. And again, as expected, in the Legends series for Season 17. Again, congrats on that. Good luck in the Legends series. I'm sure you guys won't need it, considering that you guys are the top team here. But good luck nonetheless. And thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for letting me stream this match.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
And that was Nate joining us there. A 4-1 win for Midwest Mafia. As expected, they're one of the top teams here, and they'll be in the Legends series. You'll see that in Season 17. I don't know when it's starting exactly, but it's not going to be starting too late from now, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. For now, though, thank you all so much for joining us here in the Sportiest stream. I'm going to go get a raid out. Thank you all so much. Take care. Be well. Have an amazing rest of your evening. And, well, I'll see you guys again hopefully very soon. And again, hopefully I'll see you guys again with more Blackline stuff in the future, whether it be Qualifier or the actual season itself. For now, take care.